Welcome back to Cooking with Gerald. On today's episode, I'll be making a easy, quick, delicious weeknight meal. Potato stroganoff, which is my version of the hamburger helper version, but much tastier. This is part of a three-part video series of how to make three meals out of 1 pound of ground turkey or ground beef. So you can see the links to those other videos down in the description. So stick around, stay tuned. If you want to cook with me, on this episode of Cooking with Gerald. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Cooking with Gerald. Today, I'm going to make three meals in one. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm using a pound of ground turkey. You can substitute this for ground beef. I don't eat ground beef, I eat ground turkey. And I have some sausage right there as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a base, which is going to be a hamburger or ground turkey base, where I season the meat, cook it, season it with onions, and my garlic and seasonings. And then what I'm going to do is divide the meat into three different meals. One meal is going to be spaghetti, or you can make lasagna, whichever one you want to. The second one is going to be hamburger helper, homemade hamburger helper. And the third is going to be like hamburger or ground turkey with potatoes, like a ground turkey or ground beef potato gravy type dish. I don't have a name for it, but it's just gonna be good. So for my spaghetti, once I divide the meat up, for my spaghetti, I'm gonna use some fresh basil out of my garden. I have so much of this stuff too, y'all. In addition to the onions and the garlic, once I make the meat, the base, I'm gonna have fresh basil, my like an all-purpose seasoning, which has onion powder, garlic powder, accent, complete seasoning, and a few other things that's in there as well. I actually make my own seasoning so that I don't have to pull out 9 or 10 different seasonings at one time every time that I cook. Also, I have some Italian seasoning as well for the spaghetti. Tomato sauce and some tomato paste and a little sofrito. You don't have to put the sofrito in there. The reason I like the sofrito is because it has green peppers, onions, cilantro, and garlic in there. The second dish that I'm going to make is the hamburger helper. Oh, actually, with that too, I'm sorry. With the spaghetti, I will be adding the sausage in with that as well. So I'll be cooking the sausage separate and then adding it in with the ground turkey. So for the homemade hamburger helper, I'll be actually adding some cheese. This is processed cheese. The block processed cheese, soft processed cheese like Velveeta, or this is a store brand from Walmart. So I have that. I have some heavy cream. And that's pretty much about it. And then also some macaroni. And with the spaghetti, it's going to be pasta. Some spaghetti pasta. Hold on, guys. Okay, so for me, I use Dreamfield pasta. And I use Dreamfield spaghetti. This is a low-carb pasta that I use. As far as I'm concerned, it has 5 grams of fiber per serving. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't taste any different to me than regular pasta does, but it's just a little bit more healthier for you. So I'll be using this for the spaghetti. I'll be using this for the hamburger helper. And then the last meal that I'm going to make is going to be using a portion of the ground turkey. I'm going to add some potatoes. These are some fresh white potatoes that I got from out of my garden. I'm going to slice those up. I might take the skin off. I might not. I need to actually go back and rewash these again because there's still some dirt on there. But I'm going to, these are fairly fresh potatoes, like within the last week or so, so they're still curing, which means the skin is setting up so that when you go to wash them, you won't just rub the skin off of them. So I'm going to go ahead and wash those again. And what I'll do is slice those up add them to my ground beef or ground turkey, and then make a roux and gravy. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do, is make a gravy, let it simmer down in the gravy till the potatoes are cooked, and that'll be it. So let me go ahead and get everything prepped and I'll be back. All right, so I have my onion cut up, my basil chopped up. Normally what you would like to do with basil is tear it. When you cut it, it turns dark, but because I have so much, I went ahead and did it this way. Also, I have about a couple tablespoons of bell pepper that I had that was frozen that I'm gonna add to my spaghetti as well. And then also some Worcestershire sauce that I'm gonna add to the potatoes in ground beef or ground turkey. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cook my onion. The skillet is very hot. Have a couple tablespoons of oil in there. Turn the stove down. So I want to sweat these down some. Let's cook down enough. Go ahead and add my ground turkey or ground beef, whichever you prefer. Go ahead and add my, garlic. This is about 2 cloves of garlic, but this is minced garlic. 1, 2 cloves. Seasoning. All your seasonings are going to be to your taste or your liking. So I can't tell you how much seasoning to put on there. You can actually use whatever seasonings you like. However, when you're making this, you want to season kind of lightly, because remember, we're making this into 3 different meals. So you'll be adding additional seasonings in those 3 dishes. So you don't want your meat to be overly seasoned, especially, I wouldn't say overly seasoned, more so the salt. Over salted, because then your dish will turn out salty. Let's add up some. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that finish cooking, and I'll be back. All right, guys, so got my water on for my potatoes. A little salt in here. And I'll go ahead and add my 4 potatoes. These are my Yukon Golds that I got out of my garden. These are some small potatoes, but like I said, I don't have a lot of ground beef. So once I slice these up into several slices, it'll be more than enough. Normally I would use a russet, Idaho russet potato because it's a lot more starchy. However, I don't have any of those. I have these from out of my garden. These are red potatoes, but I prefer the Yukon Golds. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these cook. Set my timer for 10 minutes. Come back, let them cool, and then I'll go ahead and put the dish together. All right, guys, so I am back. Checking my potato. Yeah, these are almost done. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. Okay, guys, so I'm back. I have a couple tablespoons of oil. I'm gonna go ahead and make my gravy. I'm gonna add some more onion. You don't have to. I do like onion a lot. So I'm gonna add that to my couple of tablespoons of oil. And then I'll go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of flour to that as well. Let this sweat a little bit. While I'm waiting on those to sweat a little bit, I'm slicing my potatoes up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. Tablespoons, that's one. Two. I'm going to turn the stove down some. And what I'm going to do is cook the flour so that you cook the rawness out of it. But also at the same time, I'm gonna try to let it cook on low a little bit for a couple of minutes until it starts to turn brown. Moving this around. These wooden spoons or wooden spatulas are very good to have because you're able to scrape the bottom of the pan without ruining your skillet. All right. When I make the gravy, I'm going to make it with some bouillon. Whoa. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. This is brown enough. I don't want it to brown anymore because otherwise it will burn. So the reason I'm doing this is so that I can make a dark gravy. Nice gravy, have a nice color to it. I'm using a bouillon cube, so I'm trying to get this dissolved. All right, add a little bit of water at a time. Get this going. See how the liquid gets in there and thickens up. Just want to make sure I don't have any lumps. So that's why I'm adding the broth in a little bit at a time, so I can work any lumps that I have in the gravy out. And these big pieces you see in here obviously are not lumps, it's the actual onion. All right, So let me go ahead and add the rest of this. Stir this around. This will thicken up in just a moment. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and add my ground turkey or ground beef, whichever one you desire. Throw a little garlic in there. About a small clove. Like I said, that's optional. I like very flavorful food. I don't like food that doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. Go ahead and add some Worcestershire sauce. About 2 tablespoons. What this is going to do is give it more of a meaty, beefy, briny type flavor. And let me check for seasoning. That's perfect. I don't need anything else in there besides a little pepper. And that's it. Let this come to a boil and simmer until it starts thickening up. Then I'll go ahead and add the potatoes in there. And we'll be back. All right, guys, so as you see, this sauce is thickened up. I'm gonna go ahead and add my potatoes in there. And these are almost finished cooking, so you want the potatoes to absorb the flavor of the gravy. So let's put this on low. Let it continue to cook or simmer for about 10 minutes. Look at that. And it'll be ready. All right, guys, so it's been 20 minutes. Look at that. It's thickened up nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. And I'll go ahead and plate this up. This pretty much is, I think there's a hamburger helper that's like this too, with the potatoes in here like this. But if you like, you can add rosemary, thyme, other herbs in here if you like. This is just pretty simple, but I'll be back. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to click the notification bell in the top right hand corner of the screen to be notified each time I do upload a new video. Also, don't forget to comment, share, as well as like the video. Till next time, stay safe.